and good evening. And let's see here. I think we've spent quite a bit of time today setting up audio and futzing with lighting. And I'm very aware that the lighting is still not there. If I didn't wear glasses, I would have no more of these shadows. But as it is, I have the lovely shadows on my cheeks because, well, glasses. And since I'm yeah, don't see too well without them. It's kind of a necessary evil. Hey, Stephen, I'm glad to see that you made it. It's been a long, hot, sticky day, but it was a very productive one, and I am delighted that we managed because, well, oof, it's yeah, it's been an interesting week because I didn't think we were going to be able to do this, right? I had announced last week that there would be no live stream this week. And now here I am going back on that because sadly, with the price of gas and a bunch of other things, we added it up and realized that that it was going to be too much. And so we made that decision of, okay, can't make this work, and it's time to go ahead and call the trip. And I emailed a couple of people that I was planning on getting together with and talked to my daughters about all of this. And the day after, as my son is out mowing the lawn, we look up on the roof, or well, he looked up on the roof and was like, hey, the shingles shouldn't look like that, should they? No, they should not. So, Texas is high winds, high heat and high winds. Evidently, soft glue on shingles. Well, the shingles shouldn't look like that. And so we had a couple of people come in and give us quotes, and lo and behold, it's going to cost about as much as I had estimated for gas on this trip in order to fix the roof. Which, to be fair, when we're talking about a roof repair, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, we're not even going to worry about insurance because it's so far below the deductible. And it was heavy winds, and our roof has 4 sides because of how the house is shaped, and it's only one side. It is only the is that the north side or the south side? That's the south side, I think. I don't have a sense of direction yet here. Hey Doug, I tried to get a link up for people. Yeah, we were talking as we're standing there and looking up at the shingles. We were talking about putting on a metal roof, and I'm like, we cannot afford to put on a metal roof right now. We will be doing good to repair the shingles. And the other thing too is that the fellow that we wound up hiring told us that what we have are 25-year shingles, and if we get to the point where we decide we need to completely redo the roof, which hopefully we won't have to soon because the roof is only 5 years old, but if we do have to get to the point where we're redoing the roof and we can't swing the metal yet, he says the $30-year shingles are actually only about like $20 a square of shingles more. So we will probably, unless we can get to the point where we can swing the metal roof by the time we have to replace this, we'll probably be going to the 30-year shingles at the very least. We're not going to do a black roof in Texas because that's just crazy talk. I don't know what color roof we would go with. Right now the house has vinyl siding on it, which is high on our list of things to repair and replace in the next few years. We will probably get hardy board, and they make hardy board that looks like cedar shingles, And that's what I'd like, in a nice soft green. So maybe we'd go with a green roof and then soft green shingles. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And Sanford, of course, gets a say in this. So yeah, silver seems like it would be awfully shiny. I mean, we have a very low angled roof, which is nice because when people have to get up on it, it's super easy. Farm girl, I was not giving you an order, I swear. I was being snarky. But yeah, so it has been an interesting week. On the upside of not getting to go and see my kids is the fact that today, this morning, I only work a half day now on burnished copper would be lovely. Sorry, that totally distracted me. Burnished copper roof would be, or nice rubbed bronze. But anyhow, so I only work a half day now on Fridays, and because my work day starts at 5:30 in the morning, because I want it to, I'm done by 9:30 in the morning. So Johan and I grabbed the truck, which I had had kittens at everybody until they unloaded my darn truck. So the truck was all empty and ready to go. We grabbed the truck, we head over to the storage unit, and 2 trips later, the storage unit was swept clean and turned back over. So that is 1 bill less, and everything we own is under our roofs. Julian, I'm not sure about the red, white, and blue roof. Our roof isn't really big enough to carry off stripes and have it look good. Hello, Ben. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today, especially since I did say I was not going to be here, but here I am. And I'm even in my office, all nice and set up with lighting. And I'll show you what the lighting does. So I have the overhead light here, but then I also have one of my photography lights, and it is currently bouncing off the far door. So if I turn it off, you can see that I actually have, it actually does do a little bit of fill lighting. Not a lot, but I'm going to have to play with the lighting more because obviously the glass is shadow. And oh, Kermit, that is excellent news. I was a little concerned about you having lost writing, and I know that you don't necessarily have it saved elsewhere, and it's not like you can just drop a thumb drive in a writing tablet and create an instant backup. I usually, and we'll be doing it again soon, but I normally have a service that I pay annually that does a complete disk image backup. So if anything ever happens to my primary computer, I can just suck it back down from their service and I'll have a complete backup of it. I also have an external drive that I plug in and I back up images and documents to it. It's not a complete disk backup. I should probably partition it and set that up, but I think I'm going to have to buy a bigger backup drive to do that because I'm starting to tap out the memory in my laptop. Actually, my son and I sat down the other day. I was helping him do something which was running for a while, and so his idea of him using himself was, let's build Mama's dream computer using this website where you put all the pieces together. And I'm like, at the end of it, I'm like, I am not spending $3,000 on a computer. But I do plan on picking up a desktop at some point because I've been running just off the laptop for the last couple of years. And my last desktop got given to the kids, so I need to think about not only having one computer, because that's a really bad idea. The choke point is the iPad with the Julian, honey, camisoles for guys are called wife beaters. Thumb drives are one of those things that I generally only use for a temporary thing. I like the external drives. They're not expensive. And you can get huge amounts of storage space these days. I will say, do not buy a Western Digital drive. I had a Western Digital MyCloud, so it was supposed to be like a home server, and it died. And because it's proprietary software, we weren't even able to get the data back off of it. So I lost a bunch of stuff there. Fortunately, because I do backups in triplicate, I had it elsewhere, but I was not happy because that was a 4 terabyte drive, and now that was a few years ago. This time around, when I do a drive, I'm going to probably go ahead and set up an actual home server, and I'm looking at 16 to 32 terabytes, because then I'll never run out of space again. Yeah, the little bitty external drives are tiny. I mean, I have one that's the size of a deck of cards, and it's a couple terabytes on it. So those are really fantastic, especially because I do have so many image files that I'm backing up. An NAS, Ben? Because that's what I was thinking I was going to do, was an NAS with a RAID array, but an NAT may be something different. I don't know. Yeah, with the teenager here, we kind of need to wear clothes too. We may have retirement goals, but oh yes, adapting to the South. So yeah, the barefoot in Texas thing. I probably will continue to go barefoot in Texas. I will just be a little more cautious, because I have an alarm that I have set for weekdays to remind me to get up and take a break. And the alarm at 11:30 in the morning is my go out and water the plants alarm right now, because summertime and they need to be watered every day because everything's in containers. So I got out there at 11:30 in the morning with bare feet, and it smarted. I really need to have a pair of kick-on sandals next to each door, so I at least have a chance of remembering that really hurt for quite a while. I don't think it was an actual burn, but it was very uncomfortable for quite a while after I had been out there. So yeah, that's a thing I have to remember. So here's the thing: we have so much concrete around the house that the plants are on the in the backyard on concrete in containers. So that's where I'm walking with bare feet. If I were walking in the grass, there are other things that I need to worry about, and I'm aware of that. Yeah, so I have to just try to break the habit of going barefoot. And of course, I'm sitting here and I'm barefoot. So 45 years of running around barefoot, it's going to be a hard habit to break. One of the reasons that Sanford wanted to have a big place out in the country was so that we could run around in the backyard with nothing on. But I don't think that that's actually a thing. It's definitely not a thing here where we live, because we regularly talk to neighbors across and over the fences. So, and I don't really feel like putting up tall privacy fences. Right now we just have chain link. Of course, if we put up a 6-foot privacy fence, then Jake, that lives next door, would no longer bounce into our yard, which would make our dog sad, because Trixie loves to play with Jake and he comes and visits her. And she's no longer agile enough to bounce over the back fence. But Jake tends to come into our yard and then bark at us for having the temerity to be in our own yard. Yeah, freshly oiled asphalt just sucks on anything because it sticks. So, yeah, I really shouldn't do bare feet anymore. I mean, I used to run cross country barefoot. I had heck of calluses, which I no longer have. So, um, I'll just try to remember to do sandals. eh, Dawn, it's one of those things. I mean, I don't know that I actually want to run around naked all the time. It's more of the having the ability to, the freedom to, the privacy to. But yeah, no, it's been a productive day. I'm feeling good. Okay, well, eh, I mean, we emptied the storage unit, which cuts down on the bills for next month. But then on the other hand, I took the boy and we went grocery shopping, and ouch. I will say that milk has come down slightly. It topped out here nearly $4 a gallon, and it's down to $3.22. And eggs have come down quite a bit, actually. I wound up buying the big box of 60 eggs, and it had topped out about $14, and it's come down to just under $10, which is about $2 a dozen. And that's the cheapest I've seen eggs for quite a while. As a matter of fact, that was my warning sign that things are not right, was when eggs went up over $2 a dozen. Even at Aldi, they were high, and I was not happy about that because everything's high, and eggs are one of those cheap proteins that it's that's Seraph commenting, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong on that too. Yeah, eggs are one of those things that we go through quite a few. Although we did have, so we bought this cheap fridge to get us through until I can afford to buy the fridge of my dreams. Well, okay, I'm gonna step down from the fridge of my dreams because we don't have the space for that one. But the fridge that we have, we had trouble figuring out where the optimal setting was, so it was freezing things. Well, come to find out, if eggs have been frozen and you boil them, you cannot peel them cleanly. And we tried, and we wound up chucking more eggs than we when we wanted to toss in that particular batch, especially with the cost of eggs. But I have my Instant Pot, I have my egg rack, finally, after a year of it having been mislocated in storage, I have located it. So I should be able to make some pickled eggs, which are a nice low-carb snack, because that's the other thing that I'm about to have a conversation with my family about, because I need to go back on eating healthy again, and that's what seems to be working for me. But yeah, no, I yes, Julian, yes. You are I've got to find a bottle of oil fire, and that's probably a splurge for next month or a couple of months down the road after I've done hard keto for a while to get myself back in the rhythm and pattern. Johan has informed me that he would like me to not start the diet until after his birthday, which is July 9th, but we will see about that. And yeah, it's grocery prices, feeding a 17-year-old boy, not fun. It was, now granted, I had picked up a couple of things for doing the next Eat This, Will You Read That recipe, which was given to me by an author, and it's I gotta love him. I mean, it's going to be a great meal, but it is a full meal. It's not just a recipe. I tell authors, I'm like, I need the name of a dish. A dish. No, we have the full spread and dessert. But it'll be a fun one to do, and I'm looking forward to seeing the one oddball ingredient in there. Yeah, no, you can't really do... Well, you can do cake and do keto, but it starts to resemble other things than cake at that point. I actually think I could probably get closer to brownies with still doing keto than I can do cake. So, Johann's request for his birthday cake was either a cheap Walmart sheet cake, which he is aware is one of those things, but he says that it's something that when the last few birthdays, not when he was with me, they would get Walmart sheet cakes as special treats, and so he thinks of it in the terms of a special treat. But for me, for my usual level of baking, the alternative to the cheap Walmart sheet cake is he wants me to make him the portal cake. And my first thought with the portal cake was friends of mine had done a wedding cake that looks like the companion cube from Portal. And for those of you playing along at home like me that don't do video games, it's a cute little gray and white and pink cube. And so the cake I had seen that was made up like that was very much a fondant, which I was surprised that he wanted because fondant. And he informed me that no, that's not the actual portal cake. The actual portal cake is a chocolate cake with cherries in the filling and cherries on top nestled on little bits of whipped cream. So basically he wants a Black Forest cake, and I can do that. Yeah, I think I also have a keto cheesecake recipe, but I'd like to see yours. It's always fun to change up things. And almond flour is one of those things that I can do a cake with that's keto with the almond flour, but it does come out rather dense, so it's more brownie. And I have almond flour, and I've got a bunch of different things in there right now, including some things that aren't keto that I picked up. I'm sorry, Kermit. Not much I can do about that one. Back into the brain. Yeah. No, the portal cake is a lie. I know. But I'm gonna make a real one that's not a lie. He wants ribs, mashed potatoes with lots of horseradish in them, because that's how he likes it. And oh yeah, anti-keto. Yeah, that kind of cheesecake. But the boy wants ribs and mashed potatoes and corn on the cob and the cake, and I'm not sure what else. But he likes horseradish in his mashed potatoes, so we'll be doing that. And I think the plan is for his birthday, he wants to actually cook for the whole gang, do the Saturday night dinner. I'm going to have to coordinate that one with Jim, because I do not have a grill large enough to do 2 or 3 racks of ribs, and we will need at least 2 or 3 racks of ribs if we're going to be cooking for up to 12 people. Mom, yeah, maybe. I mean, I could do a keto pavlova or keto macarons, and yeah, that's a thought. But for me, it doesn't really matter that much. There's various sweet things that I can do while doing keto, but it's more that if I'm doing keto, my son does not like me doing keto, because then he feels guilty for eating things that he knows I shouldn't be eating. And I don't know why it works that way, but this is why when I tried to do it before, when it was just Johann and I, he fought me tooth and nail, and I finally gave up on it. It wasn't worth the arguments. And it was because he felt guilty that he was eating stuff that I couldn't eat, and he didn't want to eat it by himself. So, but I have unfortunately gained a lot of weight because of stress, and I would like to get rid of the weight because stress is going to be starting to go away now. The apartment has been turned back over to the apartment people. That was last weekend. The storage unit has been emptied and turned back over to its people. And at this point, I've got to build some bookshelves. We got to fix the roof. But things should settle down to a dull war. I hope. Huh, that's interesting. I may have to get that recipe from you, RK. Yeah, angel food. No, I don't frost angel food. I will use angel food as the base for a strawberry shortcake. And I'll do just a little bit of sugar with some fruit, and then do that with angel food, but never frosting. You are more than a tiny bit fierce, Dawn. Actually, Stephen, that's a really good idea. I've got 2 racks of ribs in the freezer because I knew what he wanted for his birthday even before he said it. And getting a pork butt in addition to that's actually a really good idea because we could do ribs and a nice slow smoked pork butt. So I'm liking the ideas in there. A casada cake. That one's different. I haven't heard of. Yeah, no, keto works for me. It does not work for everyone. And even what works for me is actually really weird, and friends have been like, me, but I do intermittent fasting. I watch the actual caloric intake, and I'm doing low carb, high fat. So it's not going to work for everybody. And if I can get my exercise up to a certain level, I cut out the watching the calories. But when I'm doing what I'm doing right now for work and just sitting on my butt all day, speaking of butts, ooh, that is a lot of pork, Stephen. It sounds delicious. Kevin, if I could get beef ribs, I would, but I can get pork fairly inexpensive. Oh yeah, I have not seen it that cheap, Dawn. I would definitely pick that up at that price. I think the last time I got pork loin, it was $1.99 a pound. But we use it quite a lot. We cut it up into chops. We pull pork. So, custard frosting. That's different. Oh, Italian frosting. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, there's so many different variations, and it's so fun, and I could easily bake all the time, but I really, really shouldn't. Don, I will do my darndest to make Bloggerado. Hopefully the price of gas will have gone down by then. Honestly, I looked at, because the plan was to drive my truck down, take all my kids' stuff to them, pick up the gas range from RK on the way home because bless her. But that meant driving the truck, and the F-150 is not known for its fuel efficiency, and with gas prices at $4.60 and possibly rising, I did the math on driving 1,000 miles and went, I can't afford it. Not to do that and hotel and food, and then when I called and talked to my daughters, who they just moved, and one of them just started a new job, the other one was supposed to have a job and be able to transfer, but her old manager messed up the paperwork, so she wasn't able to start right away, and then when they did start her, they started her at part-time instead of full-time, which is what they promised her. So I'm talking to the girls, and they're like, we're not even sure we can manage groceries, let alone have you come down here. So I took some money and dropped it in their account for groceries. We called the trip off, and I'm just like, I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to see them because I have no idea. Oh, there's a challenge, Kermit. Yeah, Koala, you guys, that road trip is gonna be whoof. Um, yes, yes, you do, farm girl. That would be a really nice thing to have. I'm looking at potentially building a small one here myself. I really don't need a commercial one, but I would like to have a dedicated smoker, not just a grill with an offset smoker. Um, but yeah, it's. I don't know when I'm going to see my daughters. I will ship the kid down there. We'll throw him on the plane at Christmas time, fly him down to Corpus Christi, because where they were near San Antonio, it was super easy to toss the kid on the train in Fort Worth and have him go down to San Antonio, and it was cheap too. Um, but the train does not go all the way down to Corpus Christi, so he would have to switch from the train to a Greyhound bus, and we just decided not to. So, good. I'll see you at Fencon then, Ben. Yes, I will be at Fencon. I have got a dealer badge. I've got 2 tables that the North Texas Troublemakers will be merchandising from. And my son will be there with me. Sanford will be staying to keep the home fires burning and take care of the critters. So it'll be good to see folks there. I am jonesing for LibertyCon this weekend, seeing everybody with news from there. Speaking of which, if you are watching this and you are at LibertyCon, swing by Author Alley and say hi to Brenna Bach for me, please. And I'm hoping that they're making good sales there. But anyhow, yeah, FenCon is not my next con, and I don't have a lot of other travel planned for this year because house moving, settling in, it's going to take some time before I'm ready to take this job on the road and know how that's going to work. I'll probably try a small couple of day trips before too long. Yeah, going to see the Alamo is on my list. Has to happen this next year or so because, well, within the next year, because it is a prerequisite for the kid to graduate from high school. So, yeah, Dawn, it's gonna be stiff to get there. This year, I don't know. We'll see what happens next year. I don't know if it's going to get better. I'm hoping that with the elections in November that we'll see a dip in fuel prices. Just sheer ploy of keep the electorate happy. And if that happens, then I'll try to get down to see my daughters then. So... That would be a lot of beef, Kermit. RK, I will probably take you up on that. And it would be good to see you and spend some time with you. And speaking of which, you and I need to talk offline. Good plan, Julian. Good plan. You'll have to coordinate with Jonna and Courtney on that one. But I lost track of where I was. I don't know. I literally don't know where I am. Yeah, it's... I mean, I had made a comment, because I was being really mopey the night that I had to cancel the trip. I was just... I haven't gotten to see my girls in a couple of months now, and I don't know when. And so I had posted that adulting sucks, which a lot of people agreed with. And one person who is a bit pedantic was asked, well, what about kidding? And, I mean, there are upsides and downsides of being an adult and making the difficult, responsible decisions. And there are times that, yeah, it would be nice to go back to being a kid and not having to worry about these things. The grown-ups take care of all that. But on the other hand, as an adult, I have the freedom to make my own decisions. And sometimes I have to be responsible, and it sucks. And I mope about it for an evening, and then I move on. And the next morning, half my roof is rumpled up. So I gotta deal with that. Okay, RK, talking offline, yes, because we need to talk about Malta stories. I don't know where you're at. I need to work on a Malta story. I have been beating my head against this one short story just sheerly because I'm trying to get in the habit of writing every day again. I've added that back in. Going to make art every day, write every day, and I'm doing my little Duolingo Spanish lessons every day. So that gives me some structure and routine. Once I've got those down by the end of the month, then I'm going to start with the diet and exercise. So, I mean, yes, male camisoles are called wife beaters. No, Sanford is not going to be wearing one. He doesn't even own one. I would have to cut up one of his t-shirts, and I ain't gonna. So, yeah, no rush, RK. I don't know when the deadline is, if there's a deadline. I just kind of wanted to stay on top of it because I missed something. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, Sanford also doesn't own a kilt. However, I am seriously thinking about getting him one at some point here soon because I think it would look really nice on him. So I'll get him some kind of a variation on a utilikilt, and there may be photos when that happens. But it will be worn. It'll be a utilikilt in kind of a plain fabric, khaki or black, and it will be worn with a Hawaiian shirt because Sanford. Sanford has the legs. He can pull a kilt off. Yeah, undershirts are one of those things that Sanford doesn't wear them, and I'm not sure why, because I think his father did, so, or does. But the hip roof, is that what my roof is called, Mark? I should probably send you some photos. So I have not been sharing photos of the house front, the front that you can see from the street, online, because I know that in theory, at least, if someone were determined enough, they could find my house with it. And I probably don't have anybody that crazy in the fan group, but it's possible, so I'm not. But the other pictures of the house, the interior and stuff, I've been sharing in various places. Story question from Mom. Why not both? I mean, if you have a story question, you can certainly put it in my Discord channel, and several of us that are here will know to look for it there. Pearl snaps are nice, but I'm not sure they would work with a kilt. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, can't picture it in my head, but that may be a failure of my imagination tonight. A Hawaiian, I think, works with a kilt, but that's maybe because I have seen people wear Hawaiians with kilts, kilts, and Dawn, you are the least of my worries. You know, if you show up on my doorstep, I'll just want to know if you brought the dogs. And yes, exactly, I will feed you. Right at the moment, the front room is full of boxes. Actually, most of them empty boxes because I'm saving Oh, yeah, that would work, RK. Mm. Cowboy boots and a kilt. Interesting. Basically, just the knees then are showing. Um, oh, the green cement siding. Yes, yes, that is exactly what I was thinking of for this place. The Hardy Boys, and yeah, the um, most of the boxes that came in from storage unit today, one load was almost completely my kids' stuff, and that actually, because none of them were super heavy boxes, we were able to put all of those. Um, Moose sounds like such a character. Um, well, yeah, because the revolver just blends in with the rest of that garb there, Kermit. But yeah, we were able to put all the boxes up into the storage shelving in the shop, up on the very top. Johan was able to reach those up there. And so they are going to be nice and dry and tidy until such time as we can get them to the kids. Everything else that was ours, which was about one pickup truck load, give or take, and includes my Singer sewing machine, finally came over to the house, and now I got to figure out where to put it. But that's all in the garage. And about half my library is still in the garage in boxes, and it's going to stay there until I build more bookshelves, because right now the only bookshelves I have in the house are full. I could squeeze a few more books on some places, but I have to build about, I've got an 8-foot section of wall wide. It's 8 foot tall. The bookshelf will be 8 foot tall because I'm concealing the entire wall. So one 8 foot by 8 foot section and one 4 foot by 8 foot section, and that'll be built-in bookshelves. I've done the sketches and estimated how much lumber I need to buy, and it's looking like it's going to run about $200 for just the raw lumber. We already have white semi-gloss trim paint, basically, that I'm going to use to paint the wood over a coat of primer on them. And yeah, there's still a little room. I'm trying not to completely cram shelves. I've got a lot of office equipment here because I'm in my office, so I have 2 printers behind me, and the built-in bookshelves will actually probably, maybe, be more shelf than I need, which will give me space for some expansion. Koala doesn't like the kilt, I take it. uh, I I was thinking about costuming and garb, because one of the things that I unpacked the other day is my tote, which has my 1740s French and Indian War era garb, what's left of it, at the bottom of it. And I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I mean, the chances of my ever doing any kind of reenacting again are kind of slim. That was more of a mom and dad thing. And it's a little heavy for a Renaissance fair in Texas because it's wool and linen. And yeah, I would cook. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I may find a friend somewhere that does SCA or the like and bundle it up and ship it off to them. Because I don't want to just get rid of it, but if I'm never going to wear it again, then yes, that's the general punchline when someone's in a kilt. I have seen some guys that could really rock the kilts. And there's a fellow that comes to LibertyCon, a bunch of other cons too, Gary Poole, and he has a swallowtail jacket that he wears with a black kilt and just dressed to the nines, and it is fabulous. I mean, it's just like the best looking outfit. I love it. But Yeah, in fact, Sanford saw that and was like, I want. Oh no, the red cloak I will keep. The red cloak gets constant wear. It lives where I can grab it in the winter and throw it on to go outside real quick. Or it's actually what I wear a lot if I'm going to go sit on the porch with Sanford. I bundle up in the red wool. Um, Julian, thank you for letting me know. I will go check. Generally speaking, the art groups, I very much limit who is allowed to participate in those art groups. As far as top posting, commenting, not so much. But yeah, Cedar Lily Art on MeWe and Facebook are where I post my daily art. If anyone didn't know that and wants to see it, because some days it's good art and some days it's not good art because it's every day and oof. Oh no, I love my red cloak. And it is so nice because I can wear it out and just wrap up in it and it cuts the wind and the cardinal is the best thing. So I have actually a couple of small cloaks as well, um, not nearly as big and enveloping as the cardinal. And yes, actually, Red Riding Hood. As a matter of fact, there is a Red Riding Hood story that I wrote years ago, and the cover art is a modified photo of me in the wool cardinal. Um, yeah, no, most wool that I have for garb is very heavy wool, but I actually have some very light suit weight wool. Um, and that stuff is fantastic. And you could absolutely wear wool in Texas if you're wearing the right kind of wool. Um, I like natural fibers. It's kind of fun because I can go to a thrift shop and just wander along touching things and tell you which ones are natural. Cotton, silk, wool. And yes, I know, a million degrees koala. I sympathize entirely because it got to 109 degrees here, and that was the hottest I have ever been in my entire life. Although, I have to be honest, I'm not entirely sure that I trust the thermometer in my car because it's a car and it's on pavement. So if the car today, for instance, is telling me that it's 107 degrees, is it actually? Is it really? Yeah, Yankee wool is made to cut down the wind, to stop the wind from getting to you, and to be a nice heavy layer. But a lightweight suit weight wool is a very nice thing, and it allows air to pass through. It wicks the moisture away from you, which helps with sweating and moisture and temperature control. So yeah, wool is very versatile, and I like linen as well. But linen's a bear too. Um, uh, Linen wrinkles badly. But the fun thing about linen is the more that you wear the linen, the softer it gets. So it can be really really nice. Um, yeah, I like shoes. My husband was teasing me as I was unpacking a box of shoes, and it might not have been the only one. Put brownie mix into cat? Oh, car. Okay. Because I mean, you could put the brownie mix in the cat, but I'm not sure that would have um, the result that you want. I am really appreciating having air conditioning, and I have to appreciate the fact that this house doesn't cool evenly, but it does cool very well. So I actually had the problem until I figured out how to adjust the vent. It was making our bedroom too cold, and I couldn't sleep in it because I can't sleep when it's cold. So that was kind of a thing of learning how to adjust that. And the boys' bedroom tends to run warm, which is unfortunate because the hallway outside the boys' bedroom is where the thermostat is, which means that if his bedroom is warm, then the thermostat thinks that it's warm and the rest of the house starts to get really cold. We need to have an HVAC guy in to take a look at the vents and see. Yeah, I have to. I don't need it to be super hot, but I can't have it be like 68 degrees either and still sleep. Youngest is still at the toddle phase, so yeah, I like shoes and I will wear them, and I like wearing shoes when I leave the house, if I'm going somewhere, not just like running outside to do something. But that's my girly thing, is I do shoes. I'm sure the cat does. Does chocolate affect cats the way it does dogs? Yeah, I can't sleep if it's too cold. I actually have trouble with that. And it's probably because I've had hypothermia more than once. And pretty badly. So, yeah, I don't do cold anymore. Which has been the nice thing about moving to Texas. I mean, I wasn't counting on 109, but, yeah. Oof. 115 is not good, and especially without AC. See, I have slept at a very cold temperatures. We did tent camping in Alaska at 50 below. So yes, I have slept at very cold temperatures. I don't do that anymore. I mean, the AC functions well. It can be hot outside. Sanford still goes out and sits and on the porch. He went in. He had a cyst on his arm, and he went in to see the doctor about it. And the nurses were all like, "You're so brown. Have you been tanning?" He's like, "I haven't even been out in the sun." But the thing is that the sun here is strong enough that even though he's sitting in the shade, he's still outside, and he's getting a lot of reflected sun, which is why I can't spend as much time out there as he can, because I will burn to a crisp.
But I won't.
No, you won't. How is Henry? Hiding?
Henry was hiding.
I thought so.
It is for the boy, of course.
Yes. Yes. Sanford was gone to take care of a friend's cat. We have cat duty for everybody that's gone to LibertyCon from Tiny Town in Ichipa, which has been kind of fun because I gave the boy a ride over to take care of a couple of the cats, and he's like, "You gotta come in," and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Your job is to pet the cat," because one of the cats disappears, not a fan of people. RK says, "Nice shirt." And one of the cats is like, "I need people time." So I went in this morning and gave lots of pats to Kitty and made her happy. And the infamous Henry, who has published journals. He's a published author, this cat is. If you look for So Says Henry, S-E-Z, and this is Jonna Hayden's cat of Tatters and Ravelings, and also Live from the Blanket Fort. But Henry is very shy of people, so we fully expect to go all week of making sure that his needs are met without ever seeing him. So maybe someday after he gets to know us, but probably not. Most cats that don't like people just, nope. Our cat doesn't care for people usually. I saw the photos from that, Richard. Looks like you guys are having fun. Along with Wendell. Mustn't forget Wendell. So, yeah, pickled eggs are one of those things that can have a unfortunate effect, but No, it's not Betty Page, Doug. It's more generic pinups than that. He's come back so you can see the shirt. This shirt was bought at the same time that we bought the Comet guy shirt with the space gals brandishing laser weapons. And I bought both shirts, and he wore Space Gals to the wedding, but these two have been his pretty standard go-to con shirts for a long time. He's asked me to work on doing like probably nose art and having it made into fabric so he can have a fresh shirt. And that's one of the things that I want to work on after the next illustration project. I have a commission that's actually a pinup girl, and I have the illustrations to do for the hunting anthology, and I'm going to be starting on those soon. I've got stories, and I need to start sending out formal acceptance letters, but I am still accepting stories. The deadline is June 30th, but it's a flexible deadline. If you let me know you're working on something and you'll get it to me soon after that, I'm fine with it. I can't push it out too far because I do plan on publication by September 1st, so that I will have the book by Fencon.
And just so everybody knows, I have seen Henry. I saw a glimpse of Henry.
So we know Henry's okay then. Yet I will be honest, I have been trying to let people know that I have received stories when I have received them, but I have not yet read anything because... So the idea was that I had things scheduled out, and basically it was get the apartment cleaned and turned back over. That's been done. Then I was going to have get the storage container emptied out. That's been done. And then I was have the trip to Corpus Christi, see the kids, and that was going to be almost a week. Well, that's not happening. So I'm at the point now where I am ready to, oh no, Dawn, this is more for other people than just you. But I'm actually ready now to start working on the more forward projects, which will also mean that I will be opening up the PTSD anthology, the second one with complex PTSD. I'll be opening that soon, in a couple of weeks, and I'll be accepting submissions for that through end of September probably. And the koala, I'll have to check. I don't remember off the top of my head. Garlic kimchi is awesome, and I don't know how dangerous it is, but it is awesome. So yeah, that's the next things that I'm going to be working out. Koala, there's been quite a few. I had been losing track. Pickled garlic is good too. I mean, oh, well, I am going to wrap it up and contemplate kimchi. And actually, no, I will be honest, because I'm not on keto yet, I'm gonna leave this and go have ice cream. But keto ice cream is a thing, and it's very, very good. So, yeah, I have a jar of kimchi in the fridge here. Jim may not allow it at his house, but it's welcome at my house. Oh, good. I'm looking forward to Koala's hunting story. Actually, no. It would be nice not to have a weird story and to just actually go and get a deer and then have deer. So... So obviously then the kimchi is the prelude to the hunting story because you're outside where you can have the kimchi. Well, folks, I will see you next week. I will continue to play with the lighting. Looks like we've got the audio nailed. And maybe we'll get this to the point where it's not completely amateur. Maybe not. I will see you guys all elsewhere during the week, and I'll catch you here next week. Thanks for coming. Bye.